A guy named Don Blankenship is running for the Senate in West Virginia, and he released an ad last week that randomly went after Mitch McConnell, who, of course, is the senator from Kentucky and the majority leader. He also brought up Joe Manchin. Of course, Joe Manchin is a senator in West Virginia. So this is getting a lot of headlines because he's out of his mind. So let's watch and then we'll talk about it.
Don Blankenship, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message. Swamp Captain Mitch McConnell has created millions of jobs for Chinapeople. While doing so, Mitch has gotten rich. In fact, his China family has given him tens of millions of dollars. Mitch's swamp people are now running false negative ads against me. They are also childishly calling me despicable and mentally ill. The war to drain the swamp and create jobs for West Virginia people has begun. I will beat Joe Manchin and ditch Cocaine Mitch for the sake of the kids.
Okay, I don't even know where to start with this. So first of all, why is your ad primarily going after Mitch McConnell if you're in West Virginia and you're running against Joe Manchin? That doesn't make much sense. Second of all, Cocaine Mitch? Cocaine Mitch. Cocaine Mitch. Listen, I'm pretty sure that Mitch McConnell's voting record for the war on drugs is like 100% on the wrong side, which means he cracks down on drugs. He's in favor of jailing people for a tremendous amount of time if they're caught with drugs. So that's all terrible. I wish that wasn't true. But that is what his philosophy is. So why Cocaine Mitch? Are you saying he gets down? He parties? Because then I kind of like him more. Mitch McConnell, cocaine, that... Man, what a stretch. And it's not like anybody hears that and they intuitively get it. Like, oh yeah, Cocaine Mitch. Like, at least when Trump does nicknames, it's like Lion Ted. Like, yeah, okay, we got that. He is a liar. He is definitely a liar. Crooked Hillary. Yep, she's definitely corrupt. So crooked makes sense. Cocaine Mitch. Probably the last thing I think about when I think of Mitch McConnell is cocaine. He talks slow. He looks like a turtle. You know, cocaine's the opposite. He'd be all over the place and running his mouth at 1,000 miles an hour. Cocaine Mitch, what the fuck? And then I love how at the end, he's like, look, I got white babies. They got blonde hair and fair skin. I'm going to make sure I fix this country for the kids. And then, yes, you heard it right there. He spoke about Chinapeople and Mitch McConnell's China family. Now, you're probably saying, what the fuck does that mean? Mitch McConnell's wife is Asian. I think she's Chinese. Yeah, she's Chinese. So he's taking the fact that he has a Chinese wife and using that against him in a political ad. He's taking a lot of money from his China family. Man, the brakes are off that right-wing car at this point. You know, like, they were dipping their toe in the water with Trump because Trump had some moments where you're like, did he really just say that? And yes, he said it. When he launched his campaign, the Mexicans, they're criminals, they're rapists. I assume some are good people. So he flipped it. You know, if he were to say, if he were to say, well, some of them are criminals, well, then I don't even think that's controversial. So, some of any group are criminals. But he says they're coming in this country, they're not sending their best. They're criminals, they're rapists. I assume some are good people. So some are good people implying most are bad people. So that was a moment of like, whoa, goddamn, the total and complete shutdown of Muslims coming into this country. That was a moment of like, goddamn, wow, he really just said that. And now this guy is taking it even a step further. He likes the China people. He's helping the China people instead of helping the white people in this country. Oh, did I say that out loud? He's got a China family. He's got a China family. I'm married to a white woman. Look, I got white kids with the blonde hair. See? I'm not bigoted. And then, by the way, since this ad, he's doubled down, of course. And he's like, I don't know why people are saying that this is bad. It's not a slur to say China people. There's China people, there's Korean people. He's trying to act like that's just a casual thing like anybody would say. Like, yeah, China people. he would need to graduate to Oriental, which is still not even PC. Like, you're supposed to just say Asian people. He's gone from, he's like 2 generations back, like Chinaman, there's a Chinaman I see, to, he's not even at Oriental yet, which is like, I'm sure I've heard it, probably many of you have heard it. I've heard like an old white guy say Oriental, talking about a person, and it's like, okay, you let it go because they don't mean bad, even though that's the old school way. But with this, it's just like, no, he's trying to be a dick. Like, China family. He's got a China family. Now, by the way, I saved the most important point for the end here, which is he's talking about draining the swamp. You want to talk about a swamp thing? Don Blankenship is a criminal. He was literally found guilty of security fraud and conspiracy to impede mine safety regulations. He's a coal baron. He's trying to act like he's like, I'm a member of the working class. I'm a member of the working class, and Mitch McConnell's not with his China family and the China people. And meanwhile, this guy's a fucking coal baron. He's rich. He committed fraud, and then also, when he impeded mine safety regulations, guess what the result of that was? 29 people died at one of his mines from an accident because he was dodging fucking regulations. So you have a criminal who has blood on his hands because he dodges safety regulations. He was convicted of being a criminal, and now he's acting like, look at the swamp over there. Bitch, you are the swamp. You are the swamp. You are the swamp. So, what a fucking scumbag this guy is. Holy shit. Holy shit. Could you imagine Paula Jean Swearingen versus this clown? That's what it should be. Paula Jean Swearingen is running against Joe Manchin. Primary challenge. If you're in West Virginia, you better go vote for Paula Jean Swearingen in the primary. You better go do it. You better go do it. But if it's Paula Jean Swearingen versus Don Blankenship, step aside. Cakewalk, son. Cakewalk into the end zone. Paula Jean Swearingen will be the next senator from West Virginia.